What's up YouTube, it's your boy Kakashi Crypto. This is how it's going down. In this episode we'll be talking about Vechain, we'll be talking about XRP, and then we'll also be talking about Zilliqa. Since I last covered these coins, they have pumped massively. I'm talking 20% across the board, sometimes even more. Okay, it's hard to keep track. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, so we're gonna review these coins, we're gonna look at key levels, at where to buy in, whether now is a good time, etc, etc. Without further ado, let's get into the
Defi, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Having money on my mind, I have the money in my pocket. Bone marrow roasted, spread it on the rosemary bread, lightly toasted, drizzle with the vinaigrette.
Yeah, so first of all, we'll be looking at Zilliqa against USDT, also known as USD, just the blockchain version of that. So basically, we can see here, since yesterday, we've had a fat ass pump, a 10% pump. If you guys were lucky to not, excuse me, if you guys were lucky enough to get in on these little dumps, then you guys would have seen nice gains of anywhere from, what was it, 8%, 10%? Yeah, 6% just from that little dump there alone. But obviously if you'd got in from here, it would be a 10% pump. But I think this trend will continue. We broke this short-term high, and as you can see here, we formed a W like so, and now we've broken out of it. And what's even more of a better confirmation is that we've had a crossover on the 8 and 13 EMA, which just indicates that it's a really strong bullish trend, as well as the fact that all these dips are getting bought up like crazy. It's nuts. Short term, I can't give you exact figure where it's going to go. However, I will draw a Fibonacci extension and see how that plays up. Okay, so after drawing a Fibonacci extension, just for the short term, that is, this is simply because Bitcoin has sort of not topped out, but it's going sideways now. It's not really hitting 19k, it's sort of going sideways. So I think money's flowing out of Bitcoin and into alts, which is why I think we're in a fucking alt season. So come on, game on, let the games continue. Anyway, first level I'd be eyeing up here is the 0.0246 cent mark, which would be roughly what's that, a 10%, okay, a 6% move from where we currently are now. And then if we are to go parabolic from where we are currently at, we could see potential price levels of around 0.027 cent mark, which would be a 16% pump. Now bear in mind, on the 4-hourly chart we haven't seen much red, so it could be possible that we do have a little dip, a little pullback before we go parabolic again, because ultimately you can't, have green candles. Well, historically we've had a lot of gainage, we've had a lot of pumpage, but if we are to do a fractal like so, let's say it plays out like it did back in early November, that would mean where we currently are now, just hypothetically speaking guys, this is all speculative, remember that. It could mean that we could see another, how many days, another 4 days of pumpage, just falling short of this Fibonacci retracement level here. That's if this fractal here is to play out. Like I said, with the flow of money in the cryptocurrency space, it tends to be that Bitcoin pumps, the money goes into Ethereum, the money goes into these alts. But in terms of pullback levels, I would keep your eyes on. Let me mention some of them. So some of the following, which we already hit, but I'll mention them anyway, is the 0.02219 cent mark, and then below that would be the 0.02189 cent mark, and then in a bearish scenario, which I don't think will happen at all, is the 0.02162 cent mark. Now I don't believe we'll go down to here. I believe this is the bottom for this rally or so. In terms of the volume, we are seeing nice volume. Obviously the day hasn't ended yet, but we are seeing a bit less in terms of this pump here. However, we are setting higher highs. On the RSI, we are seeing a level of 74, which, yeah, what's 74? This thing can pump all the way up to 90, 95 before we start to see a pullback. Look here, we went up all the way up to around 86 before we saw a significant pullback. So reaching these levels here, definitely possible within the short term. Just remember that if we do hit these levels, then take profits and then obviously buy back in on the dips. So that is Zilliqa for you guys. Looking at the Zilliqa BTC pairing, we can see that it's still in this descending wedge, and it's playing out beautifully. It's respecting this bottom trend line now, and if Zilliqa has its short-term pump to the previous levels that I mentioned, then we could see this first of all going up to test this level here, and then potentially starting to break out of it. So we could see potential price levels of the following: potential price levels of around 260 satoshis, excuse me. But if we are to break out from where we currently are, which is hearsay, but if we are, that would mean a potential pump of 113%. So for all you Zil holders out there, just bear that in mind. Stay patient, you know, continue to DCA, and that is the whole analysis I'll be doing on Zilliqa. Now we'll be looking at XRP. Okay guys, so XRP has done something absolutely crazy, and it's actually broken out of this resistance line here, which I predicted would sort of take a while. I can't remember when I drew this. I was sort of eyeing it. I was looking at getting in on the position, but it pumped before I could actually get in on it, which is a shame. But it pumped like 33% today. Looking at the daily chart real quick. Yeah, this is the daily chart. It pumped more than this. I know it pumped more than this. Hold on, let me get rid of this here. So to be precise, it pumped all the way from down here to all the way up to here. So it pumped like 40 something percent, which is just ballistic. 40 something, are you nuts? Mate. Okay, regardless of this, potentially we could see a pullback to confirm the breakout of this level here, and then sky's the limit really. Well, not necessarily, but we want to be testing these high levels here of around the 50 cent mark or so, and then we could potentially start to set in higher and higher highs. Let me just go on the weekly chart just to give a more macroscopic view of where things could be headed and price levels that I think could be respected, because I could just sit here and, you know, fantasize all day. So looking at this, so currently we have had a bit of a pullback to the 34 cent mark, even though we did pump all the way up to the 40 cent mark, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. But you can see here that now this trend is starting to reverse. You could potentially say that we're forming an inverse head and shoulders. However, it's still too early to say, and it's not really clean. But you can see here the following: whether we break out from where we are now. In fact, let me just put the target here. We can see. So yeah, I guess the inverse head and shoulders is more so played out. So the inverse head and shoulders is basically played out. So if you guys were trading this, then, you know, congrats to you. You guys have made a lot of money. Fuck, man. Imagine putting $1,000 in this just yesterday. Boy. Anyway, looking at key Fibonacci retracement levels, we've had a pump here. I believe we will start, hopefully not, but we will retest this, maybe put in 1 day or 2 days of a couple of red candles just to confirm this breakout, and then go all the way up to these levels here, where we could see price percentage gains of orders of magnitude. So that would mean, let's say we go down to retest it. So we've gone down to 30% or 30 cent hypothetically, then we go all the way up on our next pump. That would mean a percentage pump of around 100%, so that would be a 2x basically on your investment. So if you're looking at eyeing up XRP and getting in, remember, don't buy the pumps, you buy the retracements on the uptrend. Okay, so you can see here, just to be brief, we're in an uptrend now, like so. When it has this pullback, if it has this pullback, no, it definitely will have this pullback. When it has this pullback, that's when you want to be getting in for the next eventual retracement. So a lot of you loyal XRP holders, congrats to you. I envy you. I should have actually got in. When I say I get in, the thing is with crypto, yeah, is like you have an instinct of like when to get in, and then I don't know, something puts you off buying it at that time, and then you look back at it, it pumps and you go, oh fuck, like what have I done? I don't know if that's just me, but let me know if that's you guys or not. And also leave me a comment, you know, let me know like if you guys have made gains, how much gains you've had, what coins you think I should be talking about next. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Jesus Christ. So looking at XRP BTC, this is the thing about this coin. You can never predict when it's going to have its pump against Bitcoin, okay? Obviously in the past, Jesus Christ. Obviously in the past, it's had exponential gains with orders of magnitude. We're talking 174% in a couple of days or so, or 5 days. So if this could potentially be the next XRP pump against Bitcoin that we see. Obviously, it's still early days, but in terms of bullish indicators, have the 8 and the 13 crossed over? So the 8 and the 13 EMA are about to cross over, so that is a good sign. We are setting up higher highs on a micro level, sort of bottoming out here. I wouldn't really say this is a W. I wouldn't really say it's a head and shoulders either. I don't know what this is, but hopefully this pump can continue, and yeah, I hope you XRP holders can reclaim your gains against Bitcoin. Lastly, we'll be talking about Cardano ADA. We'll be looking at the Cardano USD actually, then we'll look at Cardano BTC, see how that's doing. So yeah, I can't remember when I previously did a video about Cardano ADA, but you guys, if you are familiar with my channel, then you guys know about the Wall Street cheat sheet in terms of the ebbs and flows of the market. So I'll try to put something on the screen, but if I forget, then it's basically what we saw here, where we go from, you know, basically the start of the wave to euphoria, or denial, whatever it is, then euphoria, then disbelief, then we retrace, and then we go into like disbelief. So potentially we could be in the disbelief phase. However, it's very early to say, but looking at the historical upwards trend of this line, the time to get in would have been, you know, when we were undervalued. And I know it's scary, like I'm still learning when it comes to this stuff, but when we see blood in the streets, that's when you want to buy, to be honest. Like times like this, times like this, times like this. But obviously we all know hindsight is 2020. But regardless of that, if you had bought, like, you know, down here, you'd be sitting on very, very nice gains. Just hypothetically, if you'd bought in around 16th of November or so, you'd have a nice 30% pump at its peak, 32% pump at its peak, which would have been very, very nice. Will this trend continue? Could this be an extension, or could this be the start of a wave like this? It's very much possible. Looking at the 8 and the 13 EMA, they have started to cross over. On top of the fact that Cardano ADA has had a bit of a dump, and Bitcoin is trading sideways, I do believe that these pumps, these, you know, pumpish, these sorry, these candles can continue, and we could start to go back to test the summer highs of around 15 cents per ADA. Looking at Cardano BTC really quick, like I mentioned with the Wall Street cheat sheet, in terms of the disbelief phase, this is plump for the picking, in my personal opinion. I did say about, you know, buying when there's a reversal on an uptrend, or buying at the end of the cycle. This looks like it's basically at the end of the cycle. We've had our pump, we've had the retracement, potentially we could be in the disbelief phase. However, it could have continued to pump sideways before going upwards and you know, reaching its previous highs of around 1,593 satoshis in summer. At the moment we are at 680 satoshis, so that would be just over a 2.5x if my maths is correct. But yeah, keep your eyes on Cardano BTC. So what does that mean, guys? That means the Cardano gains that you have at the moment, potentially you could cash that out into fiat, or yeah, potentially, not financial advice, but the Cardano gains that you have at the moment, you could cash that out into fiat, then buy Bitcoin with that fiat, then buy Cardano ADA with said fiat, in order to maximize on the devaluation of ADA against Bitcoin, because you don't want to sell ADA to Bitcoin at this current valuation. You want to buy it against ADA at this valuation, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But even if we don't see a rally like we did in summer, even if we see like a tiny rally like so, you're able to make money twice on the Cardano pump, whether it's against Bitcoin or USD. So just have that in mind, guys. Thought that'd be interesting, especially with Bitcoin going sideways. It's definitely possible for us to see another pump. But yeah, just have these coins on your radar, guys. I'll try to bring you guys fresh coins if I can, but make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I'm trying to bring you guys as much content as possible. I'm trying to grow my channel, so share it with a friend. Hit a like, subscribe, comment in the section below, and yeah, let's get this party rolling.